and we'll look at key question 2. So we'll take about 5 minutes working this now, get started on it. Any questions, you can ask me when we come back from our break, and then we'll pick it up after that. So I'll talk to you again in about 5 minutes. We are back. Hope everyone had a chance to get started on key question 1. And we're going to move now on to key question number 2. So key question 2 looks at synonyms, antonyms, and homonyms. So what those are, a synonym is a word which has the same or nearly the same meaning as another word. For example, dog and canine both mean the exact same thing, and claimed and said both mean the exact same thing as well. There's different words to express the exact same thing. Now, an antonym, on the other hand, is a word that has the exact opposite to that of another word. So start and finish, happy and sad, hot or cold. And a homonym is a word which has the same sound and often the same spelling as another word, but has completely different meaning. So examples as bank, as such as a pile of earth or stone, and bank, a place where you keep your money. Both spelled the exact same way, but have different meanings. Another one's live and live. Same spelling, different pronunciation, different meaning. Live is when you're living. Live is a live show. It has been recorded or edited. So with those 3 terms in mind, we're going to jump right into key question number 2. So this is worth 21 marks. And the first part is asking you to add 2 more synonyms for each of the following words. The first part has been completed for you. So the words you have to add synonyms for are education, first, and proceed. So we're going to do the middle one there as our example. We'll do first as our example. You still have to complete it, but we'll do some examples. So first, so we're going to do earliest. We have the word beginning and the word starting are all words that mean the exact same thing. It all mean something at the beginning or the start or the first thing you're going to look at. So try to come up with 2 different words for first, as well as 2 more words for education and for the word proceed. So for education, your first one they give you is schooling. And for proceed, the first one they give you is begin. Number 2, it says give a synonym for each of the following words. Then use each synonym in a sentence. So the word is, example, our word is said. Our synonym, a word that means the exact same thing but is a different word, is the word claimed. And so our sentence would be, I claimed I was innocent of Henry's murder. So 2 words for truthful and fixed. So we'll think of some synonyms for truthful. This one could be honest. And the fix could be, another one could be repair. So come up with the word and then a sentence. Number 3 is looking at antonyms. So it says use antonyms of the bold-faced words to complete these sentences. An example is completed for you. So our example is we started the season as champions. So the opposite of start would be finish, but we finished out of the playoffs. So you have to come up with an antonym in the first sentence for we quickly boarded the plane. The story had a sad beginning, and we must succeed in finishing our assignment. And they want to rewrite, number 4 is rewrite the following short paragraph using antonyms to give the opposite meaning. The first sentence has already been done for you as an example. So their example is, I was satisfied with my pay. It was the most my employer would give me. With it, I can buy almost anything that I want. You want to turn that sentence around to make it the opposite of that. So instead of saying, I was satisfied with my pay, we start off, I was dissatisfied with my pay. And you need to do the antonym sentences for the last 2 sentences in that short paragraph. Number 5 says give a homonym for each of the following words. Remember, a homonym is a word that sounds the exact same but means something completely different. So, example is sew. You're going to sew something together. And sew. S-O, which is just a preposition. So you have to pronounce for new, K-N-E-W, hire, H-I-R-E, there, T-H-E-R-E, and write, W-R-I-T-E. So give a homonym for those. And then number 6 is very similar, but you're doing something a bit different. So first you have to give a homonym for each of the words below. So sales, allowed, ate, and ball. And then once you get that, then use each of those 4 words in a brief paragraph. So write a brief paragraph using the 4 new words that you come up with. It only needs to be between 2 and 4 sentences long. But try and come up with that example. And that is part B, which looked at synonyms, homonyms, and antonyms. So we have a bit of time left. We're going to try and get through this whole lesson. We will at least get through part C today. If we have a chance, we'll get into part D, but I don't think we'll get there today. So part C is looking at similes, metaphors, and personification. Now, these are fairly big terms, and they will be terms that we will come back to when we start our novel study in Lesson 3 as well as all through Unit 2. And we'll also look at them when we get into our media study and watch our movie in Unit 3. So the terms are going to come familiar with these terms fairly quickly, as you're going to encounter them a lot. So the first word is a simile. It looks like smile, but it's a bit different. A simile is a figure of speech where you compare 2 different things, but you compare them using the words like or the word as. So you're comparing things using like or as. So example is Jake ran as fast as a cheetah in the race, or Jake ran like a cheetah in the race. So our next example is the metaphor. And a metaphor is a figure of speech in which same thing make a comparison, but you are not using the words like or as. So it's a comparison without like or as. So, for example, there's the sea was a raging beast in the storm. So, if you were to make this one into a simile, you would say the sea was like a raging beast in the storm. Because you didn't use that like there, you said the sea is a raging beast. That is a metaphor because you're making a comparison without using like or as. And then our last one is personification. So this is very similar to what we just looked at. It's when you give inanimate objects, so things that are not alive, or animals, things that are not human. So inanimate objects or ideas are given human qualities. So for example, the old ship ached and moaned. Well, a ship can't ache or moan. It's not human. But it can creak and it can make noises that sound like that. So because it may sound like that, we say it ached and moaned. So that's their example of personification. So with all of that, you're going to answer just 3 questions for key question 3. This is worth 12 marks. This is where a lot of students tend to have a hard time. So we're going to take our time with this, and we'll try and we'll work this fairly slowly. Hopefully everyone can get it. If you have problems or any questions, let me know, and we can go through those questions. So key question 3 says complete the following questions in your own notebook. So create 2 similes for each of the following ideas. Use like in one simile and as in the other. An example has been completed for you already. So we have our word we're using is flying. So our examples, you can fly like an eagle. So comparing to an eagle with using like. Or you can fly as high as a kite. So the words you have to do are jumping, thinking, and climbing. So for jumping, you can jump like a kangaroo, or you can jump as high as the sky. For you 2 examples for that. For thinking, what are you thinking like and what are you thinking as? Same for climbing. So number 2 says the following sentence contains metaphors. The metaphors have been bolded for you. Now explain what you think each sentence means. Now an example has already been completed for you. For example, is the crowd swarmed the building. So what does that mean? Well, this metaphor means the crowd moved like a large group of bees towards the building. Another sorry, 352 is the car leaped past the rest of the racers. And that's actually a typo there. I just realized that. Oh, you fix that. Car leapt past the racers. We towered over their team by the end of the game, exclaimed the coach. Even a child could carry my dog for hours. He's such a feather. It's the third one. Explain what those metaphors mean. And then number 3 says improve the sense below with personification by adding human qualities to make the idea more descriptive. Now, an example has been completed for you. So, the old ship moved through the waves can become the old ship ached and moaned as it moved through the waves. So, the water blank at us in our boat. The water rushed at us again and again. The clouds blanked the airplane as it flew through the sky. And then rain blank as we ran for cover. So those were 3 marks. This whole quiz is only worth 12 marks, but take your time. A lot of students have a hard time with it. If you're struggling and not sure, give me a call, and I will do my best to answer any questions that you have and give you more examples as needed. But that's where we'll end for today. When we come into class tomorrow, we will pick up part D, which looks at punctuation, as well as getting into lesson number 2. Other than that, hope everyone has a good night. Any questions, let me know. Email, call, text, or Facebook. And I'll talk to everyone again at the same time tomorrow. Until then,